Chapter 3 of Love in a Mask by Honoré de Balzac. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 3 The impatience with which Léon waited for the morrow may be more easily imagined than described. How often did he run up to his rooms to see if the letter had yet arrived! How delighted he was when at last it was handed to him! But what was his astonishment to read these words: Yesterday Monsieur de Préval appeared keenly to desire to see again the lady in the white domino whom he met at the opera ball. To obtain this favor he declared himself ready to do anything she asked of him. Here are the conditions on which he may have what he so persistently demanded. 1. Monsieur de Préval must be in his rooms at midnight tomorrow. A trustworthy man whom he has already seen once will call for him with a hired carriage which will convey him to his destination, only Monsieur de Préval must allow his eyes to be blindfolded. 2. He must refrain from questioning his guide, and must not attempt to bribe him (this would be quite useless), but he must quietly follow instructions. 3. He must promise to make no noise, and no scandal. He must not make a fuss about the darkness, and must not attempt to induce the person who will be waiting for him to break the silence she has determined to keep. 4. Finally, when his guide returns to fetch him, he must follow him out to the carriage and thence homeward, with the same precautions, and afterward, without making vain attempts to discover what is to be done with him, he must patiently await the enlightenment that is faithfully promised to him. 5. If Monsieur de Préval accepts these conditions, he can write on the foot of this sheet that he will keep them, add his signature, and leave it in an envelope at his door to wait till called for. When he had read through this extraordinary document, Léon, astonished beyond measure, was torn by 1,000 conflicted feelings. How was he to reconcile the elaborate precautions of this strange compact with the enlightenment that was promised? How could he make this appointment agree with the air of lofty distinction and reserve of the stranger? He told himself over and over again that it would be the height of folly and imprudence to sign such a treaty, and embark on such a wild goose chase. And yet, as the graceful image of the pretty mask rose before his mind's eye, and their animated talk at the ball recurred again to his memory, the contrast between her pride and her weakness, the piquancy of the situation, his now strongly aroused curiosity, and his vanity at stake, all combined to make up an irresistible temptation. For a moment he even fancied that there might be a spice of danger in trusting himself to some unknown man to be led to an unknown place, his hands tied by his promise,